Brought to you by Remington Rand, makers of the revolutionary new Remington Rolectric, the only shaver that shaves both the heavy beard and the hidden beard in absolute comfort. Now let's all play What's My Line?
And now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in papers from coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And now we reluctantly say farewell to the gentleman who is about to come here on my left. He's going to make a safari to some interesting places, starting with Las Vegas and Hollywood, and we hope he'll be back with us in a few months, Ernie Kovacs.
Before I introduce the panelists to my left, I would like to say one kind word about the Infants' Home of Brooklyn, who have done just a tremendous job for the many infants there. I would also now like to introduce my secret love, both of them, of course, the one on my left, my secret love on my left, Arlene Francis.
Now a man who has just returned from the Midwest, where he loved everybody and everybody loved him, Mr. Bennett, Cerf.
Here's a moment you've all been waiting for, our panel moderator, who makes women swoon and men weep, Mr. John Charles Daly.
Haven't seen a man crying for years. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. Once again, we're lucky enough to have some very nice people with us in the theater who brought with them some interesting occupations, and our purpose is to try to stick my friends on the panel. If possible, we'll stick them 3 or 4 times in the next half hour. We'll also have a famous mystery guest before the panel a little bit later in the show, and we'll meet our first challenger in just a moment. And now let's meet our first contestant. Will you come in and sign in, please? Oh, you haven't learned to write yet. Well, that's too bad. No, actually, as you all know, when you see an X up there, that means that we have a reason for not giving you the name of our contestant. Equally, we'll not tell you where our contestant is from. So, Mr. X, as you must be, will you meet the panel? And then will you join me over here? Mr. X, are you aware of our scorekeeping system?
I am.
Then let's let our friends who are viewing in their homes and those who come to the theater know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, I can tell you that Mr. X is self-employed, and let's begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Mr. X, is your employment something that could be provided for both men and women?
Both, yes.
Could children enjoy it, too?
Could children enjoy it, too?
Yes.
Would you describe it as a service?
Yes.
Do you do it in the daytime?
Yes.
Would it be possible to do it at night?
Yes.
Could you do it on an island? Manhattan?
Yes.
People pay you for this service, obviously.
Yes.
Would you describe yourself as profit-making?
Yes.
Do you work in an ordinary suit of some kind rather than what might be described as a uniform?
Yes.
Do you work indoors?
Mostly, yes.
You occasionally go out of doors?
Yes.
Are people better off or happier because of what you do?
Yes.
Do you speak to them?
No, I wouldn't think so, would you? I mean, this is beyond the norms of conversation which we might all have just in the performance of our duty. I think we have to give you a no there, Dorothy. 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Kovacs.
You know, with all of those yeses, I know nothing about you. Nothing, absolutely. I am where we started. X isn't short for anything, I presume. This is I'm new here, you know. I haven't done this. Yes, allowing time out for surfacing, do you do many things underwater?
No.
No, 2:08 to go, Fred.
You work on land, do you, Mr. X?
Yes.
Did you write the cross X on the board because your name has been in the news recently and we might have seen it? Thank you, whoever that was.
Yes, I think we would say, Arlene, that you, in recent times, might well have read the name in the news.
Are you from a country other than the United States?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. X, I must say this. The two of you remind me of a dish there, ham and eggs. Now, what'd you say, John? You are from the United States then, Mr. X.
Oh, yes.
And your name having been in the papers, would it have been on page 1?
No.
That makes it 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Do you ever spend any time in Washington, Mr. X?
I have, yes.
Were you in Washington at the time that Queen Elizabeth was there?
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Kovacs.
Have you ever been a barber around the Penn Sheraton, Mr. X? No.
No.
You're very affable with your negatives, I'll say that for you.
I think that prep needs a bit of explanation. There was some small violence in the barber shop.
Yes, it was
Park
only
Sheraton
on the
this
front
past
pages
week.
of a few thousand papers. You wouldn't have heard about this.
You got a no, didn't you?
I gotta know. I'm
That
off the
makes
hook,
it
John.
6 down and 4 to go,
No
Miss Patsy.
shame. If you were not in the front pages, is it possible that you might have been around the sport pages of the papers?
No.
No, that will give you a no, and I don't think looking for page numbers is going to
It's
be
going to
very
help.
beneficial. 7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Well, we're not looking for page numbers, John, but we've eliminated news if he was not on page 1.
Not necessarily. There's a good deal of news on the inside of a newspaper, which is not spillover. I'd be very happy to tell you more about a newspaper if you'd like me to.
On What's My Line, we expect nothing but the best, John.
You have it.
Have you any connection whatever with the entertainment industry?
Indirectly, yes.
Yes.
Indirectly? Would it be possibly the television world?
Partially, indirectly, yes.
Partially
And
indirectly.
indirectly, yes.
But if is your connection with the entertainment world more of a behind-the-scenes nature than appearing in public?
I think since the premise of indirectly has already been established and the question is couched specifically in the term behind the scenes, we'll give you a no. That's 8 down and 2 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, I don't quite know what to make of that, John.
I would
give me-
ignore the whole question and answer if I were you,
Well,
Dorothy.
may I assume from this that our guest is not a performer? Has
Yes,
Bennett
you may
ruled that
presume.
out? All right. Do you do anything creative, Mr. X?
I think, yes.
Does it have any connection with music?
No.
No, that's 9 down and 1 to go, Mr. Kovacs.
It's $45. You want me to give him 5 and we'll call it off? What's your first name, Mr. X? Just that's awkward here.
I guess
R.
You're penalized $5 for asking that question. 10 down and no more to go.
What is it? What is it?
You're penalized $5 for
Oh,
asking
no,
that
I
question.
mean, what does he do?
What does he do?
Yes.
Don't you know?
No.
You don't?
Of course not.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
I really do.
He designs and constructs Broadway's spectacular signs. And his name is?
Douglas? Ding dong.
Douglas
Douglas Lee.
Right.
Lee, Douglas Lee.
Is Mr. Lee the man that did the Camel ad where
The
everybody
Camel
blows the ring?
and the big Pepsi
I have a
Cola and the
wonderful idea, and I
Coca-Cola.
have a chance now to give it to him on the air.
Yes.
Why don't you have the Camel blow the smoke rings? You get immediate sponsor identification.
John, I think Douglas was a guest of mine once.
No.
On one of his...
My Vice President Fred Kerwin, chief engineer, was your guest.
We were
You
talking
invited
about...
me, but I couldn't come.
I was trying to give him the idea of putting some lip salve on the Camel sign. For the man with the rings in the winter. Let it go, but say hello to your boy.
Well, I have some special thanks for you, Doug Lee, because Mr. Lee has asked that anything that he did win in our scorekeeping device should go to the Correspondence Fund of the Overseas Press Club, of which I am happily a trustee. Thank you for that generosity and for being our guest. And now, let's see what we can do with the second challenger. Would you come in and sign in, please? There. Loretta Bowman, is that right? Is it Miss or Mrs.?
Miss.
Miss Bowman, where are you from?
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, it's nice to have you here. We have a lot of friends out there. Wilbur Clark and Tony Clark were there when I was visiting out there. And how's everything in those?
Real
That's
fine.
fine. Well, would you say hello to
Hello.
them? Miss Bowman. Miss Bowman, will you come over here and sit down? Do you know how we keep score here?
Yes.
All right, then let's let everybody at home and our friends here in the theater, except my friends on the panel, know exactly what your line is. Panel, Miss Bowman is salaried, and we'll begin the general questioning with Bennett Cerf.
Miss Bowman, the last time we had a guest from Las Vegas, turned out she did the most unlikely thing. She washed cards. May we assume that you don't do anything like that?
No.
Yes, you do
Yes,
not.
you may assume that Miss Bowman does not know.
Well, do you perform a service of some kind?
Yes.
Is it a service that you would perform for both men and for women?
Yes.
Do you perform this service for the people who come to Las Vegas for what they laughingly call a good time?
The question is so general that we would be hard put to give you an answer that was not general, too.
Well, let me put it more succinctly. Do you perform a service for visitors to Las Vegas?
Yes.
Would this service be other than something to do with the many different gambling devices prevalent there?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Has it anything to do with either the marriage or the divorce business?
Yes.
Could it possibly have something to do with both? That you can either tie them and untie them?
No.
Is that your question? Because that
Yes.
got you a no. That's one not to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, if you do what Bennett, I think, was getting close to and I had thought of, then you mustn't think that marriage is a gamble. Is that right?
Well, I don't think that this is necessarily germane.
Well, all right, I'll ask it the other way. Are you empowered by some local or state organization to marry people? No.
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Kovacs.
Miss Bowman, I notice you've been looking at me funny. You have. Haven't you? Haven't you not?
No.
That gets a yes, which this is not. All right. I know all the dealers out there very well, and I'm going out tomorrow night, as a matter of fact. I love the place. It's wonderful. The mountains, everything.
Mountains? You never were out the door.
They told me. Do you have a product involved with what you do?
Yes.
You do.
I do not think it is to be considered a product under
I
the
didn't ask
normal
you,
terms
John.
of
I asked the young lady.
Why
why does he keep butting in?
No.
I got a yes from her.
7 to go, Miss Fred.
I'll just leave this panel one day.
You said before that you had nothing to do with getting people married. Is that correct, Mr. Bowman?
The answer to that question was in the affirmative.
It was in the affirmative. I wasn't paying attention. She's not empowered to marry them. Are you empowered to make out any certificates?
Yes.
Generally speaking, yeah.
Pardon me?
Yeah, generally, that would be correct.
I think she's a swimming instructor.
Would you make out the marriage licenses?
Yes.
Yes.
County clerk, is that what the title is? I don't know what they call it in Las Vegas. I haven't had one of those there.
Well, I think we have to accept it. County clerk actually, Miss Bowman, issues marriage licenses and is in the county clerk's office, right?
Right.
So I think we have to give that to you, Arlene. Nice going. You dug it out.
I didn't really dig it out because I really didn't hear all the questions and answers.
Actually,
I was just here having a nice time.
rather famous at the moment because Miss Bowman issued a license not so long ago to a gentleman named Bing Crosby who was going to marry a young lady named Kathy Grant.
Miss Bowman, how is business in general?
Very good.
Very good?
She works in Las Vegas, not in General, Bennett.
It's a nearby town.
We're nearly even. You've been doing this for 10 years, haven't you?
Yes.
Would you say that you were as surprised as, say, most of the public of America in that 8:30 in the morning visit when you issued your license to Bing Crosby?
I think so.
Well, I'm sure you join all of us in wishing them both a long and very happy married life. And we thank you very much for being our guest. Sorry we didn't give them more trouble. Nice to have you with us. We'll meet tonight's mystery, the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which I've asked my friends on the panel to blindfold themselves. Blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, John.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? All right, panel, in the case of the mystery challenger, you know you go to a different form of questioning. One question at a time in turn, going clockwise. We'll begin it with Ernie Kovacs.
Oh, you've never done this before, John. You threw
No.
me, kid. Are you, you're there now. Are you in the entertainment business?
Yes.
Miss Francis?
Are you best known for your work in pictures?
Recently.
Mr. Cerf?
I didn't hear that answer.
Recently.
Recently.
Used to be a plumber.
Not even that. Are you a star in pictures? Does your name go on the marquee? If I'm lucky, yes.
Miss Kilgallen?
Are you blonde?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Kovacs.
Did you ever appear in one of those Italian pictures where they dive for sponges?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Are you a leading man?
Oh, I hope so.
Sounds like a character.
Did you ever appear in a picture where they die for Ernie Kovacs?
I'll scratch your eyes out.
No. You never appeared in a picture with him?
No, what is your question,
didn't say
Bennett?
that.
What is your question?
Well, I was being facetious. Yeah, I meant, have you ever played in a picture with Ernie Kovacs? Yes.
Miss Kilgallen?
Oh, you dirty dog.
Oh, well, are you Jack Lemmon?
John, I was in Lou Chow's tonight, and this man came in. I said, gee, you're in town. You ought to be on What's My Line. He said, I'm not staying till next Sunday. I said, gee, it's a shame. And I came in, I talked to Gil Fates. I said, Jack Lemmon's in town. Maybe if you could stay over to Sunday. Nice things for your friends.
Oh, Ernie.
Hello, Jack.
Jack, you see, I knew you were in town, too.
Oh, isn't that something?
Actually, I think we should clarify some of what has preceded Mr. Kovacs and Mr. Lemmon. together with Mickey Rooney and Mrs. Bing Crosby, I believe, in Operation Madball, which is to open very soon.
21st at the Victoria in New York.
21st of Victoria. This is your first big picture, and you...
I save him. You might as well.
You save him. You're Philip Sandover man, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah,
along
sure,
with you.
yes,
Congratulations.
no. So we just thought it would be fun to have Jack here tonight because you're going away. And
well,
see
Jack
if we
and I are
could
going to
stick
do
you.
another one.
We're going to do another. Starting in December,
another?
we do another picture, Notorious Landlady, together.
Yeah. We start in
Victoria.
So, hey, when do we start?
the December 17th, I think, the Notorious
Well, I'm
Landlady.
glad they let you know. I didn't know anything about, but I know we do it anyhow. December.
Well, when you're on the other coast, you hear things faster.
Oh, thank you.
Can't we talk about books a little while?
No, I tell you what, we ought to get a beep signal in here, though, if we're going to listen to this phone conversation. Jack, thanks very much for
Thank
being
you
our
very
guest.
much,
I'm
John.
sorry we didn't give him more trouble. Next time
My
we'll
pleasure.
find a way to sit. All right, panel, we have just enough time, I think, to see if we can't stick you once again. Will our next challenger come in and sign in, please? Right. Gundega? Travis, is that right? Miss Travis?
That's right.
Miss Travis, where are you from?
Thistletown, Ontario.
Thistletown, Ontario, and I won't try that again. The panel, Miss Travis, now you come over very quickly and join me. Do you know how we keep score?
Yes, I do.
All right, then let's let everybody at
Thank you.
home here in the theater know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, you have less than 3 minutes. We will tell you that Miss Travis is self-employed and begin it with Miss Arlene Francis.
Miss Kravis, do both men and women enjoy your services? Yes. What? Well, whatever
No.
she does must be a service of some kind. You do some sort of a service.
Yes.
Do people come to you?
Yes.
Do they bring anything with them when they come to you?
No.
No, nothing extraordinary. 1 down, 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Well, Miss Kravis, do they take anything away with them after they've come to you?
Yes.
Would it be knowledge of some sort that they might not have had when they came?
No.
Yes.
Oh, don't let him get away with that. No, that's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, is it something more tangible than knowledge?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do you need any special education for what you do?
Yes.
Do you have a special degree?
Yes.
Is it more than a BA? Do you have to
yes.
go on from there?
That's right.
Do you by any chance have a title other than Miss, which you signed in on? Are
Yes.
you a doctor?
Yes.
Are you an obstetrician?
No.
No.
Made him come with something.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Kovacs.
I'm a married man, John, and I don't think my wife will approve of this whole thing. I'm thrown because I actually was with Dorothy, and I thought she had the whole thing here now. All right. Do you do little things like tonsillectomies and,
No.
That's it, 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, we must pursue this a little bit because I understood that Dr. Kravis said that people take something away with them.
That's right.
Well,
In a jar.
whatever in a jar.
We just ran out of time, thank heavens.
No, you've got
psychiatrist?
No, must be X-rays.
No, I'm a dentist.
Oh.
What do they take? New teeth?
Fillings.
Well, they take
Oh,
new teeth.
Fillings. All
They
the
can
time
also
fillings.
take a lot of new teeth with
You're
them.
hurting my fillings.
Oh,
No,
dear.
anyway, we ran out of time, and you, by default, you beat the whole panel, and thank you very much,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Travis. Nice to have you. And, Mr. Kovacs, may you have much good fortune as you move around all over this country of ours, and the world while you're away from us. Lots of good luck and the best of everything. And until next week, this is John Daly saying good night, Miss Dorothy.
Good night, John. Good night, Ernie, and blessings.
Good night, my dear. Likewise, I'm sure.
We'll miss you. Have a good vacation. Good night, Bennett.
Good night, John.
Good night, Bennett. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. And thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
If you'd like to be a contestant, send a picture we can keep and your occupation to What's My Line? CBS Television, 485 Madison Avenue, New York, 22, New York. Transportation for contestants on What's My Line is arranged by American Airlines. What's My Line is a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network. Be sure to see Remington Rand's two other great television shows, Leave It to Beaver on Friday nights and Gunsmoke on Saturday nights, all on CBS.